third graders, and welcome to your next Richmond Math lesson. I'm Mrs. Yeager. Today we're doing Unit 7, Lesson 10. And my learning target for today is using tetrominoes, I can combine polygons and name the resulting polygons. I'm going to really have to think about that learning target. But first, let's have our joke. What has two hands, a round face, always runs but stays in place? You give up? It's a clock. There's its two hands, round face, always runs but stays in place. All right, the materials that you're going to need today are a pencil, some crayons or colored pencils, and the handout for today's lesson or some grid paper. Now, if you don't have the handout for today, you can go to hellosmart.com and enter the class ID of 966130 and put in your name, and then you can follow along on the computer. This will work on an iPad and on your phone. So pause me for a minute while you get all your things and then come back. Okay, our learning target today said something about tetrominoes. Do you know what a tetromino is? It sounds like domino a little bit, but that word tetra comes from Greek and it means four. So a tetromino has four squares. So look at the purple and we can count. We can see there's four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the green figure. It also has four square units in it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the yellow, even though it's a different shape, it still has four. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the blue, count it with me, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the pink, 1, 2, 3, 4. All these tetrominoes have four square units in them, even if they are a little bit different shapes. But I wonder, last week we were talking about naming shapes from their number of sides. Let's see how many sides they have. Let's look at the purple one first. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has four sides. Do you remember what we call a four-sided polygon? A quadrilateral. Very good. How about the green one? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's also a quadrilateral. How about that L shape? I wonder how many sides it has. Help me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you remember what a six-sided polygon was called? A hexagon. Very good. All right, let's try the next one, the blue one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, what did we call an 8-sided figure? We called it an octagon, reminding me of the octopus. This last figure, what do you think? How many do you think it has? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8 sides. So it is also an octagon. So now we're going to use these tetrominoes and see what we can do with them. So now I want to think about my learning target again. It says, using tetrominoes, I know what they are now, I can combine polygons and name the resulting polygons. When I combine things, I put them together. So we're going to see how we can combine our tetrominoes to make a different kind of polygon. Your paper has the tetrominoes all in one direction, but sometimes we want to be able to flip them. So on the computer, if I flipped a figure, I changed the color just a little bit. So we see those two that look like a 7 or an upside down L. They're the same shape, it's just flipped. So one is a light yellow, one is a dark yellow. The same thing with that Z looking thing. You see one of them is pink and one of them is a dark pink. And that's because they're the same shape, it's just flipped. Now, in order to move these, I can just take my hand and move them. Or if I want to turn them, I would use 2 fingers and be able to turn them in any direction that I want to go in. So let's get started with our lesson. So on your practice set, the first question says, use the tetrominoes to create at least 2 different rectangles. Then color the grid below or on your grid paper to show how you created your rectangles. And you can use the same tetromino more than once. Well, what would be the smallest rectangular figure that we could make? That's right, we could use just this one because it is a rectangle and it's 1 by 4. But that's not very creative. How about if I used 2 of these? Yes, once again, I've made a rectangle this time. Now it is 2 by 4. 2 times 4 is 8. That's right, but that's not very creative. So what I would like for you to do is you're going to make 2 different rectangles, and you're going to make them however you can get the pieces together. It's just like a puzzle. So I might start off with, let's try this piece first. But what would I have to add to that piece to make it a rectangle? And then when I make that one, I need to do it one more time. So you can pause the video now and then come back and think about after you've made your 2. Okay, now we're back, and question number 2 says, use tetrominoes to create at least 2 squares, each with an area of 36 square units. Then color the grid below to show how you created your squares, and you may use the same tetromino more than once. But I have to think about what I just read. So the first thing is, how many squares do I have to make? I have to make 2. Okay, so 1 is not going to be enough. I have to make 2. The second thing is, how big do they have to be? 36 square units. Very good. So now I need to figure out a couple of things. The first thing I want to figure out is if it says 36, and I know that each of the tetrominoes is 4, how many pieces am I going to use? So I'm going to think of 36 divided by 4. And figure that out for a minute. Yes, 36 divided by 4 would be 9. Good job. So I know I'm going to use 9 tetrominoes, but now the question is, I have to make a square. Well, I know that if I have the same, a square has to have the same sides. All four are the same. So if it's 36 square units, I have to think in my head, what two numbers multiply together to make 36? I can think of 2 times 2, but that's 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. So I know that 6 times 6 is 36. So my square has to have 6 square units going down and 6 square units going across. So here I am. I've got 6 square units going down and 6 square units going across. So now I have to, just like a puzzle piece, I have to put my pieces in there and see how I can make a square. So this time I might start off with this, but you could start off with anything you want. So I would like for you to take a few minutes, just pause the video and fill in that square. And then when you fill it in a different way. How could you make the square a different way? We want to be nice and creative. All right. I hope you've had fun working with the tetrominoes today. It's a lot like working with puzzle pieces. Our learning target was using tetrominoes. I can combine polygons and name the resulting polygons. I would like to encourage you to maybe use your tetrominoes and see if you can make a pentagon or a decagon or a nonagon, and let me know how you did. Bye.